All right, we're on to Cincinnati as the Chicago Bears hit the road to face the Cincinnati Bengals this weekend in I would say, pretty pivotal game for both teams. Full preview ahead here on Chicago Bears Now. My name is Harrison Graham. If you want the Bears to bounce back, they had won 4 in a row, had that snapped in Baltimore, looking to get back in the win column. Hit that like button. Good vibes only. Let's get win number 5. We said it. You split Baltimore and Cincinnati, get to 5-3, come home, face the Giants. Let's go. Great opportunities ahead. If you're with me, hit that like button. All right, let's break down these teams a little bit. If you look at some team stats here, with the Bears only scoring 16 last week, they dropped to 24 points per game, which is 16th in the NFL. Points per game allowed, 26.4. That is 25th. Not a great game for the defense against Baltimore, obviously. Turnover margin still first in the NFL. When you get 15 takeaways in a 4-game span, that's going to boost those numbers. We'll see if they can start getting those again this week. 11th and third down offense, 41.1%, solid. Second and third down defense. This defense is very feast or famine. They're great on third down. They get a lot of takeaways. Other than that, they do give up a lot of yards. So, it is what it is right now. Bengals team stats, 21st in points per game at 21.8, 25th in points per game allowed, 31.6. Turnover margin is -2. That is tied for 19th. Third down offense, 14th in the NFL, just over 39%. And third down defense has been atrocious. They have not been able to get off the field, second to last, giving up almost 50% rate on third down. Red zone, this has been a major talking point for the Bears. We did a full video on this. One of the 3 things they got to fix is their red zone woes. They're down to 26th in the NFL at under 48% touchdown rate once entering the red area. 5 for 16 in their last 16 trips. That's since week 4 and beyond. Red zone defense isn't great either, 25th in the NFL, so those are areas they got to get better in. Bengals offense, 8th in the red zone, so when they're getting down there, they are punching it in. They have been bad on red zone defense at 30th in the NFL. So hopefully this is a week for the Bears offense to get back to getting 7s and not 3s. They're moving the ball consistently, but you got to get touchdowns in the NFL. All right, let's take a look at the injury reports from Wednesday now. We'll have more later today, but the top 4 Bears receivers did not practice on Wednesday. Rome Odunze dealing with a heel issue. DJ Moore has been battling this hip groin thing for a few weeks now since Washington. I expect him to play, but they're managing him early in these practice weeks. Luther Burden in concussion protocol. I doubt he's back, but you never know. And then Olamide Zaccheaus dealing with a knee injury. Not really sure when that one happened. Kind of like with the Dunze's heel. So, again, today, tomorrow, we'll see what the next couple injury reports show us. DeAndre Swift, kind of like DJ Moore, I think it's early week management, so I would expect him to do more as the week goes on. Should be fine for Sunday. Roschon Johnson, he's dealing with that back issue still. Missed last week. We'll see if he does anything today. And then Dominique Robinson, he's going to miss a few weeks for sure this game, so he will not be out there with that high ankle sprain. Guys who are trending up, Cole Kmet with that back injury, did not play for the first time in his career last week. He talked to the media on Wednesday. To me, that's a signal that he will likely be back. And then Tyreek Stevenson dealing with that shoulder, trending up as well. Both of them were limited, so it would be huge to get both back. Kmet, because you might be a little thin at receiver, might run some more 12 personnel. And then Stevenson, because you're going to need some help on the back end. So that is definitely important also. And then the Bengals injury report is as follows. Joe Flacco dealing with that AC joint sprain. Not Kevin Stefanski, his former head coach. Zach Taylor called him day-to-day, called it 50-50 for Sunday, so we'll see today and tomorrow if he does anything. Trey Hendrickson with that hip, that's one to follow, obviously. Dalton Reisner was sick yesterday. He should be fine. Logan Wilson with that calf. He's kind of been in and out of the lineup. They kind of benched him, but then he started playing again, so we'll see what his situation is. And then Marco Wilson dealing with a hamstring injury as of now. We'll see how their injury report progresses over the next 2 days as well. All right, our Week 9 sub battle. We're actually trailing early to the Bengals breakdown, 66-59 in new subscribers so far this week. I know the vibes are a little down after a loss. Let's pick them back up. Let's take down the Bengals breakdown so we can take them down on Sunday as well. If you want free and daily Bears content, hit that subscribe button. It's free. All right, who has the edge? At head coach, I'm going to go Bears. I'm not a Zach Taylor guy. I know they went to the Super Bowl back in 2021, but I think that's more Joe Burrow. And quite frankly, their former defensive coordinator, Lou Anarumo, I think he's a better coach than Zach Taylor is overall. The defense has gotten even worse. And, while Joe Flacco and the offense has done some nice things, I'm just not a big believer in Zach Taylor. I think the Bengals would tell you they'd rather have Ben Johnson than Zach Taylor. So I'm going to give Ben the edge here, even though he is a very young head coach. Okay, quarterback. I'll go push. Now, don't freak out on me. But Joe Flacco has given that team life. He's playing smart, throwing the ball to Jamar Chase. And for Caleb, it's been a little up and down. So obviously we would all take Caleb Williams over Joe Flacco, but in a 60-minute game, either guy could play better than the other. There's no doubt about that. So I'll go push. Skill guys, I'll go Bengals. I think the Chase, Higgins, and now Chase Brown reemerging here. That's pretty damn good. And outside of Rome Odunze and DeAndre Swift, I'll add in there, it's been pretty inconsistent. You're not getting enough out of your tight ends. Secondary receivers, DJ's had some good moments, but you need more out of him. Obviously, Luther's got the concussion. Olamide Zaccheaus has been a safety valve, but not much more than that. I will give the edge to the Bengals, and a lot of it is just Jamar Chase. He is absolutely unbelievable. Offensive line, pretty easily the Bears. The Bengals unit is not great. It's been a little better lately. They've opened up some running lanes for Chase Brown. Joe Flacco's doing a good job of kind of protecting the pass protection by getting the ball out quickly, but the Bears unit is better. Okay, defensive line. I will go Bears here. Now, if Trey Hendrickson plays, which he probably will, I would guess, it's closer to even-ish. Shamar Stewart's had some okay moments, but even though the Bears' D-line isn't great, I still do think it is better than Cincinnati's. Linebackers is also advantage Bears. Logan Wilson's not having a good year. They recently benched him. Now, since then, they've kind of started to play him again, so they're still looking for answers at that position. He also requested a trade, so keep an eye on him potentially getting moved before the deadline. Unlikely before this game, but something to monitor. All right, when it comes to the secondary, I'm going to give the edge to the Bears. Obviously, last week they were beat up, had to play Nick McLeod, had to play Jalen Jones, but with the addition of C.J. Gardner-Johnson and hopefully Tyreek Stevenson coming back, I do think the Bears have the advantage here as well. I'm going to give special teams to the Bengals, though. McPherson's an excellent kicker. Their punter's been really good this year, and the Bears' coverage units have just not been that good. So I will give that nod to Cincinnati when it comes to special teams. All right, we'll get to some keys to victory in a second, but first, got to tell you about today's sponsor. That is Ethos. Life insurance is one of the most important investments you can make in your family. Now with Ethos, you can get covered and protected in minutes with rates as low as $2 per day, billed monthly. You can also get up to $3 million in coverage. As a husband and father, having life insurance is absolutely vital, and it's something I don't want to take for granted. Ethos is revolutionizing the industry when it comes to insurance with a 100% online process and can provide protection for you and your loved ones. With Ethos, you can get life insurance in as little as 10 minutes. They have no medical exams, just a few easy health questions online. A 100% online and hassle-free process makes it easy to apply with Ethos. You'll get a quote in as little as 10 minutes. You can get same-day coverage without ever leaving your house. Oh, by the way, Ethos has a 4.8 out of 5 stars on Trustpilot with over 2,400 reviews. So protect your family with life insurance from Ethos. Get up to $3 million in coverage in as little as 10 minutes. At ethos.com/NFL Daily. That is ethos.com/NFL Daily. Application times may vary, rates may vary. That link is in the comments and description of this video. Our first key to victory, you got to find a way to slow down Jamar Chase. Ben Johnson called him a problem on Wednesday. That's exactly what he is. And now the Bears secondary has been beat up. Again, you're hoping to get some key cogs back in Tyreek Stevenson, and Gardner-Johnson helps, but Nashawn Wright on T. Higgins and Jamar Chase, that's still a tough battle here. And especially if Joe Flacco's able to play, he's been a major problem. Joe Flacco's going full Madden and just peppering Jamar Chase. First game with him, 12 targets, 10 catches, 94 and a tud. Second game, 23 targets, 16 catches, 161 yards, and another touchdown. 19 targets, 12 catches, 91 yards against the Jets. Now, in week 6 and week 8, you're not seeing those major explosives, so I think you would live with those type of numbers and not give up the big play, but Jamar Chase is a major, major problem. Now, we'll see if it's Joe Flacco or Jake Browning. I still think it's going to be Flacco, but he is dealing with that shoulder injury. Jake Browning had not been playing well when he was out there. He had not had the same connection with Jamar Chase that Joe Flacco has seemingly built instantaneously. So obviously that does play a factor, but regardless of them playing better with Joe Flacco, number one, you better know where he is on the field at all times because he can change the game on any given play. What is your concern level of defending Jamar Chase? Scale it from 1 to 10, 1 being not at all, 10 being very. He's a concern. There's no question about it. Okay, stick with the running game. You know, the running game has been a lot better since the bye week, especially in those first 2 games. I thought last week Ben kind of got away from it too early, but also the opponent you're playing this week just got torched by the Jets. And look, Justin Fields poses a problem as a QB run guy, but Breece Hall had a field day. Isaiah Davis ran for about 100 yards for the Jets as well, 7 yards per carry basically for New York last week. I think if you commit to the run game with Swift and Monungai, mix in a little Caleb here and there, I think you should average well over 5 yards per carry in this game. And again, I think last week against Baltimore, the Bears kind of got away from it. Now, that game just got weird where the Ravens had these long, drawn-out possessions and you didn't have the ball a ton in the middle 2 quarters of the game. So I think part of that was game flow, but they were still having enough success on the ground that they should have stuck with it more. I would expect to be a little more stubborn in that regard this week and commit to running the football. On the flip side, you got to contain Chase Brown. He was ice cold to start this year. I don't think he was seeing the running lanes that well. The Bengals were not opening up running lanes. And also, once Jake Browning was in there, I think teams were just teeing off in the run game because Browning can't push the ball downfield. And now that Joe Flacco's in the mix, I don't think it's a coincidence in the 3 starts that Flacco has started, teams have to respect the pass game now. And Chase Brown looks like the Chase Brown we saw the second half of last year. 7 yards a carry, over 220 yards, has a touchdown. He averaged 2.5 yards per carry the first 3 weeks. I mean, just abysmal. But since then, he has been a whole lot better for Cincinnati. So if he's getting 5, 6, 7 plus, it's going to be tough. I mean, I know it's Joe Flacco, but he has been more than functional since taking over for Jake Browning over the last 3 weeks. Okay, got to take a step forward for Caleb. I actually thought he did play better against Baltimore than he did the prior week, and Ben Johnson echoed those sentiments, but we need another step, right? For one, he's just got to keep taking steps. And 2, the Bengals defense is not good. Doesn't mean every play you call is gonna have wide open receivers and all of that, but there will be opportunities to generate big plays in this game. So he should have a good game. I'm not going to set a stat I'm looking for necessarily. I mean, obviously the efficiency, you want that to continue to improve. And last week was a good step, close to 66% completion. But there should be plays out there to be made for this passing offense. And if there's not, that's not going to be fun to watch and to break down because that would be shocking if we just broke it down and the Bengals had some great defensive game. I don't see that happening. And then last one, we always do this. It's more of a theme on the last line. In their season, the Bengals, when they beat the Steelers 2 weeks ago, were back alive. Like they saved their season. And it's like, okay, we'll beat the Jets, we'll be 4-4. Well, they choked against the Jets. They choked. And now they're 3-5. You beat them and knocked them to 3-6. Finito. They are finished. So you got an opportunity to bury this team this week. Obviously, you got an opportunity to boost your season back up as well. But you bury this team, you end their season. Maybe Trey Hendrickson becomes available. I don't know if that would be for the Bears or someone else. But this is an opportunity to bury an opponent coming off a devastating loss. I mean, for them to blow that game, a 2-score lead to the Jets in the fourth quarter, is demoralizing for that team. Take them down. You would think they're going to come out inspired, kind of like the Ravens last week, knowing their season's on the line, but they're not the Ravens. They're just not the Ravens, even with Tyler Huntley. Tyler Huntley, that last version of the Ravens last week, is better than this Bengals team. You should be able to win this game and bury this team. Predict the score. Bears, Bengals. Will the Bears bounce back? Who wins? What's the score going to be? Get your predictions down below. I feel a big bounce back coming. Ben Johnson's not happy. He let that be known with his players. We heard it in the media. He wants that, accountability, that back and forth street to happen here. I think these players respond. I think the Bears win 31-20. I'm not saying it's going to be easy. Maybe it's 24-20 and you ice it late with the touchdown drive, but I think this is a team you should beat. And I expect the Bears to do that, salvage the split, which is what, the baseline goal was, and then come home 5-3 and take on the New York Giants as the month of November arrives. All right, that's going to do it for this edition of Chicago Bears Now. Plenty to come as we get you ready for kickoff on Sunday, so don't go anywhere. Subscribe to the channel and bear down.